Joining me today, I have a very special guest, Deanna Oliver. She's the managing director of Urban Polling Inc. And she's been with the company for over 14 years. And she's here today to talk about an important topic, mobility, and how does it affect in our everyday living. Welcome, Deanna.
Thank you, Christine. I really appreciate you having me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. And I love talking about mobility because that's really what our entire mission is about as a company. Our company was founded by an occupational therapist and gerontologist, and through that lens, it was all about helping people live the life that they imagined, that they dreamed. And mobility is so much of that, especially as we're getting older. It's a critical aspect, really, to how we get through our day-to-day lives. And so it's a topic that's near and dear to my heart, and also so much so to so many of our clients and consumers who are embracing our products and program.
Yes, mobility will or can affect us all, and it's so important to talk about this topic. And as we age, it's good to have the information. It's about education, correct?
Exactly. I think a lot of people, as we get older, there's certain things that we begin to accept, maybe a little less confident on our feet, not as sure-footed. Sometimes there are conditions that render things like balance, our usual gait, the way that we walk, sometimes they're impacted. And so what I love about our products and our program is that they really promote ability. So the fact that with the poles, using the Urban and Activator poles, you can continue to go out on your daily walks, even if you are a little bit nervous about your balance. They're there to support you. And I think that's such a huge piece of what we bring to the market.
Yes, and the fear of falling. That is very
And the fear
important.
is crippling, right? At
Yes.
the end of the day, I mean, when you have that fear, it's what makes you second guess everything that you used to do. And the reality is, the more that we move, it's that whole idea of use it or lose it. So it doesn't benefit us to stop moving. We have to keep proceeding forward. But in a lot of cases, and we've had customers call us over the year who are centurions, in 100 in their 90s saying, I don't want to be on a cane. I don't want to be on a walker. They don't see themselves in that light. But when they get recommended the activator poles or the urban poles, their whole mindset is different. Because at the end of the day, anybody at any age can use these realistically, and it helps them.
Yes, it definitely means so you can see all ages use the poles and it helps confidence if you're having coming from an injury or as we age. So there's benefits and also for your mental health as well, right? It's sort of
Oh, it's huge. Actually, it's funny you mentioned that. We've had a number of community programs coming forward and are petitioning around grants towards removing or improving social isolation and just getting people out of their homes, disconnecting, reconnecting to nature. There's so much research. I mean, there's just tons of it around forest bathing and the benefits of being outdoors and what it does for our health. And it's all interconnected. At the end of the day, no matter what age and stage you're at, we know for sure if you can get out, even for a 5, 10, 15-minute walk, you're going to feel better. You're going to feel better. And where that's really important, like I think about one of the programs we've been involved in the USA, actually, around ease of use, walk with ease. So it's a program that's been designed by the Arthritis Foundation, and the idea is to get people out who have arthritis, and whether it be a half mile, a mile, whatever they're able to do, to come out and be with others who are feeling similar to them. Maybe they've got quite a bit of pain. There's varying levels of arthritis, and it can be debilitating. And because of that, it can be extremely extremely isolating. And so having this forum where people can come out and actually join a Walk with Ease group, they're all over the country. Some of them use the polls, some of them don't. But the whole idea is it allows you to be among peers and have that social engagement, which is so, so important.
Yes, and I can see like a good cross trainer too.
Oh,
It's you know.
absolutely. I mean, the way this originated was in Europe, and it really was for elite athletes. So, cross-country skiers who, as we know, are truly, we just saw the Olympics, among the best of the best. I was exhausted just watching them. And it was just phenomenal. And this is how this all started. Nordic walking in the generic industry term was the basis of everything that we do today and promote, because through the sport of Nordic walking, you're effectively using nearly all your body's muscles. 90% of your body's muscles are actively engaging when you use the poles. And so it was a wonderful way for them to stay fit in the off season. But it's a wonderful way for all of us to maintain our fitness, because as much as we talk about balance and restoring gait and all of those things, because so many of our clients, that's what they're looking for, it's all those other phenomenal metabolic benefits that they're also getting. When you add the Urban and Activator poles, you're engaging nearly 90%, as I said, of your body's muscles. But because of that, you're burning up to 46% more calories at a minimum 20% more calories, which is significant just by adding the poles to a walk you would have done anyway, theoretically. And also in terms of glucose, so if we think about people that perhaps are pre-diabetic or have type 2 diabetes, this is something that is going to allow you to better manage your glucose. Oftentimes, after people begin, their glucose actually is coming down, just on the basis of using the poles as part of their new sort of walk exercise regime, because glucose is absorbed in an exercising muscle.
Mm.
So the more muscle that people use, the better the glucose uptake. And because you've got almost all your body's muscles working with this, you've got that glucose being absorbed through all those muscles. So it really is one of those things where, even though, balance and mobility and all of that is so much of our focus and our mission, really it's all those softer benefits, including mental health, that often will drive people forward. And like I said before, it's just about, no matter where you're at, if it's about improving your fitness, if it's about improving your balance and mobility, at the end of the day, people just want to live their life in a way that they had always hoped and dreamed, and mobility is inherent in that.
Yes, and it's low impact. Like it's just it's there are so many benefits. And I mean, so how do you start? Like if, for the viewers are watching and they're, wow, I'm just coming back from an injury or I just had a fall or whatever the situation is. Like, Sienna, tell us how we can start.
Yeah, that's a great question. There's lots of ways to begin. So many people will use our online resources. So they will come to our website and there's a tab called Getting Started, which is quite appropriate. And they can see what types of polls are for them, whether they're more of a candidate for the activator polls, which usually, if you've got a balance concern or something along those lines, like you said, you're recovering from orthopedic surgery, even pre-surgery, that would be the one for you. Or the urban poles, where they're used on an angle and they're designed to give you a push forward. You want a little bit of a better workout. The main thing about the urban poles is that you do want to be pretty sure on your feet. You want to be pretty confident in your balance, because they are designed to be used on an angle and they will give you a little push forward. Um, but at the end of the day, that's an option if you feel like you can sort of self-direct and guide. We also have a number of instructors. This is through North America and other parts of the world, where they teach people how to do this. So you can certainly check out our website, connect with us if you're outside North America. Certainly, we have distributors in Australia, the UK, Ireland, Israel, Singapore.
Wow.
Um, Malaysia is just kicking off. Chile is a new market for us. And and they're all there to help. They can help to connect you to somebody. And the other thing that you want to look at is some of our partners as well. So I think about groups like Rock Steady Boxing, who offer boxing for people that have Parkinson's. Many of their instructors have been coaches, I should say, have been trained in our program. They are an education partner for us and they offer classes. YMCA's, JCC's, not all, but many have embraced the program, generally senior centers. So the best thing to do is to find a center in your area and really inquire and ask if they offer the program. If they don't, by hearing it from you, they may very well want to look into it. If that's something that you would appreciate in terms of having a live instructor.
It's wonderful, just wonderful. And I mean, Sienna, can you share some testimonials?
Oh, absolutely. I would love to. Actually, I've got a few open here. If you don't mind,
Absolutely.
I'm going to read a few. I would say one of the most common things that we've heard over the years is game changer.
Mhm.
Those words have been used by many of our clients over the years because of the fact that um, these really can revolutionize the way that you move, the way that you walk. And for people that I think about one of our instructors and soon to be master trainer, Cindy, she's in Florida. She has rheumatoid arthritis. And when she first came to us, her mobility was incredibly limited. The pain that she experienced, she really wasn't seeing a bright future for herself. And then she tried the activator twos. She's a little bit taller, so she uses the activator twos. And she took our course to be able to share the information, but also for herself, mainly out of the gate. And the difference from her, I mean, she's upright, moving. The difference in where she was to where she is today is significant. And it's one of the reasons that she wants to share this with other people in her neck of the woods in Lakeland, Florida, because of her personal experience. I have a quote in front of me from a gentleman named Bob. He's 91 years old. He said, I'm 91 and too young for a cane or a walker. I feel like a cool cat with my poles. And I just love that because feeling is believing. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, we're only as old as we feel.
Yeah.
So if that's what this is giving people, then we are doing really well as a company, I would say. Another one from Jeannie, she's age 86. I feel very sturdy on my feet. I have better balance with my poles. I feel less likely to fall with my poles. And again, that's so powerful. Peggy says, I seem to have less pain in my back and knees when I use the poles. I am building muscles in my arms. I can walk farther than I thought. And I think that one, Christine, is so important because that is what the research supports. People can go further, faster, more frequently by adding the poles. And that's huge because now we're talking about building endurance. And that's where cardiovascularly, as you well know, as a runner, that's significant.
Yes. And age can wait.
Age can wait. I just saw um,
Yes.
Morgan Freeman, I think, was on being interviewed.
Mhm.
And he made a comment about, don't let the old man in. I think it was Clint Eastwood that had told him that because the question was, how do you stay so young? How do you stay so vibrant? I think he's in his late 80s, mid to late 80s. And that was his response. And at the end of the day, I think that's why so many people do want to embrace the activators because when they see, and there's a time and a place for everything. I want to say that. There's a time and a place for a cane. There's a time and a place for a walker. This is not the miracle solution for everything for everybody. We fully acknowledge that. But people don't want to appear and feel old. And the connotation with the cane and the walker is that that's what's happening, And so with these, the fact that people feel younger, their image is better, they're more likely to want to go out to be active because they have a different mindset. And that is, worth everything.
Yes, and there's options. Say you're we're a runner and now you can turn to walking and you have the confidence with the pulse. And it's like you said earlier, you burn a lot of calories, right?
Burn a
Like,
lot of calories. And it's that adrenaline, right? It's
yes.
that pumping that I think we've had articles over the years past runners who felt like maybe their knees could no longer support them, and therefore they transitioned to the urban poles. And the main feedback was, I still feel that high. I'm still getting that adrenaline sort of moving through me. And I think that's such a huge thing. I look at my both my kids have done competitive swimming. My daughter at a pretty high level now, and I think so much about her when she goes into swim practice, and whatever the mood is, whatever the day has delivered, and then she comes out, and there is just such a huge difference. And you just know, I mean, swim is like the poles. You're using all your body's muscles, right? Low impact, but it's all happening. And so much of it is that mental aspect, that she's getting, and what we all get when we move our bodies.
Yes. And if people want to reach out or find out more information, of you said to go to the website, is there anything else? Are you on social media? Um,
We are on social media. We are on Instagram, Facebook. We do have a LinkedIn profile. Um, at TikTok, we're pretty new to, but we're beginning stages there. But there's lots of ways that you can connect with us. And for anything in general, any questions that you have, we actually do have a customer service team that will respond, real people, real time, which is kind of exciting these days. Info@urbanpolling.com is a great way to reach out. And from there, if you want to get to me or really anybody else on the team, that's a great entry point. And of course, our website, as I said, urbanpolling.com, is a great place to start as well.
it's wonderful. And now, is there anything else you'd like to add to that?
I think, I'm just, first off, again, really grateful to have the opportunity to talk about something like this. We are really making a push on trying to elevate the awareness of how phenomenal this form of rehabilitation and fitness is, and part of that awareness is availability, where people can find the product. And we're just thrilled at some of our most recent partnerships, like CVS. We're not in every store, but we're in just over 500 in the US market. Certainly, we have lots of options through our Canadian retailers as well. So there's many ways for people to go out and touch and feel and try before they actually embrace it. So if online is not the way for you and you prefer to be in front of the product, that's something that's certainly available. And I should say also, in the USA, retailers like the FSA, HSA store also carry us because the polls are covered under flex spending and health spending accounts. So that can be extremely valuable for people that do have that as part of their benefit plan.
Wonderful. It was a pleasure speaking with you today, and I love for you to come back.
It was great speaking with you, Christine. Like I said, I really appreciate you having me. And anytime you'd like to do this again, I'd be very happy to join you.
Thank you. Joining me today is Dr. Bob Weil. He's a respected sports podiatrist and radio host of The Sports Doctor. He's here today to talk about getting ready to run outdoors with all this snow and cold season we've been having. So, welcome back, Dr. Bob.
Hey, it's great to be back. Again, you're one of the trendsetters, Christine, and to run with it. I don't know, for 6 or 7 years, whatever it is, we've had our monthly, the sports doctors in. One of the biggest topics, again, is, trying to prevent problems and trying to enhance our performance when indicated. And again, even though it's snowing here in Chicago, it's going to be like 5 degrees. And again, you ran year round, British Columbia. So we want to pay attention to some important points in our few minute segment today. And that number one is to pay attention to your history. Whether you are someone who runs 100 miles a week, or you're a newcomer, or you're somebody who's somewhere in between, you're still running 30, 40, 50 miles a week, aren't you?
Pretty much.
Right? Right? You still are 5, 6 days a week. So we want to pay attention. If we've had problems, then we want to pay attention. If we've had knee problems or low extremity problems, we should pay big attention to sports podiatry. I can't tell you how often paying attention to the right shoe for you or the addition of orthotics is magic for that particular runner who maybe has a history. My son's shins are always a problem every cross country season, or, my knees have always bothered me. You and I, we've talked a lot on your show that 50% of the females I have seen as a foot specialist are knee problems. Whether they're volleyball players or runners or they're soccer players or tennis players, the female anatomy with the wider hips, a little bit different angle down to the knee, a little bit more importance with foot mechanics. So know your history. Number 2, do some cross training.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you want to go to the gym, whether you want to do stretching at home. My late, great colleague, sports therapist, Bob Guida, made history with his caution about overstretching. And the whole world of athletics came after him because he was saying technique. He was saying don't overstretch. There was so much hoopla with yoga. So you want to cross train. You want to swim? Great. You want to go to the gym? Great. You want to mix in, again, yoga or Pilates? Great. But the old days where runners thought that better running was more running, more was better, and we would run into all sorts of overuse problems. 50% of all your listeners, all your running family, 50% have a history of problems. And when their lower extremity, this is what we want to, again, make a big point, any persistent or chronic lower extremity, back, hips, knees, feet, ankles, any persistent problem, if it's not foot caused, it's foot related.
Mm.
This is, again, are you a runner with high arch feet like this? Or is your teammate somebody with a whole different flat foot, high arch, and much of foot mechanics are inherited? So number 1, know your history. Number 2, add cross training, a strengthening program. Rubber bands are magic. Work balance. If you walked into Bob Guida's clinic decades ago, he had athletes bouncing on mini trams and tilt boards, regardless of the sport. He said every time, and we called it instability training, create imbalance, stand on one foot, balance on the Bosu, balance on that fabulous piece of equipment I've told you about for years, the sand dune stepper. Every time you create imbalance, you strengthen everything, your core, your low back, your butt, your hips. So we want to include those kinds of exercises, regardless of what you're doing. And the last point we want to make big time is you've got to make time for rest and recovery. You have got to, the terrible twos are too much, too soon, too aggressive, whether you're a parent or a coach or it's you. So you want to make sure that you do you've got some time off. If you're very serious, then you're very serious about your time off. And those are the 3 things that we incorporate in the new medicine that I have talked to you so much about on your great show, whether you're a celebrity or whether you're a superstar runner like you or a competitor at all sorts of distances. And we wanted to talk about the fact that you wanted to pay big attention to including rest and recovery. You want to pay some big attention. Stress is over the top for all of us, whether it's post-pandemic, whether you're talking about social media up to your ears. That's why I'm so involved in the world of type 2 juvenile diabetes, because diabetes was never in children if it was type 2. It was always adult onset. Now we've got a world full of teenagers that are dealing with diabetes and obesity. So I want to mix that in because the new medicine is, number 1, eat smarter. Pay big attention to nutrition. We could talk all day about that. Number two, keep moving. Like we just said, you want to be a runner, great. You want to be a walker, you want to go to the gym, a lot of choices. And number three, you want to reduce stress. You want to pay big attention to recovery. And whether you want to include faith and spirituality, a lot of these things are very, very important because the more talented you are as a runner, the more you're always pushing the envelope. Some of my most educated patients for years have always been runners. So we'll catch you next time.
Dr. Bob, it was wonderful having you back on the show for the Sports Doctor is in segment rather, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. Hi, British Columbia.